Hello, and thank you so much for joining us here at Lovely Being You. Children play outside, and when they're playing outside, you can gain great insight on what it is that they're doing and why it is that they're doing based upon their behavior. But some things might not always be so easily seen. My Uncle Herman was always teaching the boys how to fight. And if one didn't seem to be gaining ground, especially the one who he might favor, he'd jump in and punch the other one in the chest and say, you're not doing a good job, or, you better fight, and you better win, or I'm going to get you. And sometimes you don't realize or you don't see why or how this is affecting the children later on. But with my older brother, you could see it. He'd play outside, but there was some form of pain that you could see in his eyes and in his behavior. Sometimes we would fight, and I would never understand why it was that I always had to fight my older brother. The fight was because they would take me places, but they would not take him. And you have to look at how this is affecting children. When you look at their behavior, when you listen to what they say, when you look at their body language, all of this ties in to the pain that they might feel internally. So in this case, when we got back to my mother actually picked him up again. This was my first time really interacting and getting to know who she was. He had to tell me that this was my mother, that it was okay. So after going to Coney Island and going back to the house, adjusting to a new place, a new space, and a new person, or should I say new people, because now at this point I'm being introduced to an older brother who I didn't know I had. We weren't even, I wasn't in school at the time. See, you have to look at, if I had to look back, I'd see the way in which the aunts and the uncles were very abusive towards him. So him feeling a certain anger towards me was misplaced, but it was there because he was never treated with the love and the respect as a child should receive. He's one of the reasons why I wanted to go into teaching, because I was able to see little boys, angry boys, and I was able to read them based upon this experience or these experiences that I had growing up with relatives as well as my older brother. He didn't have a voice. It was like he walked around with his mouth sealed, and when he did begin to speak, and he'd try to explain why, and was told to shut his mouth. That's a great deal of pain, and when you have children like this, how are they supposed to come out of their shells? When he finally came out of his shell, it looked like being disrespectful towards other people, teasing other people, making them feel as low. And he didn't even realize he was doing it, because that's why the self-love journey is so important. You're not going to realize certain things when they are internally embedded within you and you're unable to heal because you're around these very same people. So I couldn't blame him in a lot of cases as to why he was angry, as to why he didn't invest where he might have wanted to invest. You see, that internal pain will be stored within you until you begin to get the help that you need. When we got back to my mother, or should I say we moved in with my mother figure, we should have gone and gotten the necessary help through counseling. And some things she didn't even realize. And some things she would never have done, because how would she know to do this? The self-love journey is not just because you feel like if you love yourself, you're going to get over. No, if you love yourself, you will gain clarity on who you truly are. You will learn how to grow, persevere. You'll know how to treat other people as well as yourself. Extending yourself and helping this world to be a better place. Sometimes when you're firm with a child and you're saying, no, these are the rules and this is how things are going to go, or what have you, there's a way in which we might want to do that. But when you have children who come from so many different backgrounds, never knowing what their circumstances are, I saw my brother in so many of the boys that I taught. And because I saw their pain, that is one of the reasons why we would have Fridays and we'd have to cut the day up to make sure we had enough time for them to put it on the table so that they could feel comfortable enough to express themselves and to be able to let some of these things go. A lot of people don't realize what these children are going through. And when you don't realize it, how do you actually help them? We have to pray over our children so that we are able to remember or be reminded of the point that we used to be children at one point in time. And maybe our voices were not heard, but so that maybe their voices will be heard and they will have a better childhood, which will be a healthier childhood, so that they can be able to learn and grow and become better people, so that our world is not damaged based upon what those children went through. It's important that we understand that our world is in need of healing. These different weather patterns that are going on right now are telling us that there's a lot going on and a lot that's about to come to the surface. The weather tells a great deal. But we don't always see it. We don't always feel it. We don't always understand things when we are so focused on trying to get through each day. So remember to tell yourself that you love yourself when you begin your day. For when you begin your day, you never know what God has at hand. Say a prayer for yourself today, that you will have a greater day and a better day where you will touch another person's heart and heal just a little bit more than you did yesterday. And so that our world will become a more healthy environment so that we can feel comfortable enough to learn how to love and grow. Thank you so much for joining us. It's lovely being you.